You are listening to Small Business Straight Talk with your host, Amber De La Garza. Amber is a sought-after coach, trainer, speaker, and writer who gives small business owners the straight talk on productivity, time management, business systems, leading your teams, strategic decision-making, and mindset. No BS, fluff, or overused jargon. Just actionable strategies to get results and succeed in business. And here is your host, Amber De La Garza, the productivity specialist.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to the Small Business Straight Talk podcast. Today is episode 364, Beyond the Hustle, Building 21 Sustainable Business Habits. If you're a small business owner who wants to learn effective business strategies, improve time management, and elevate productivity to maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you've joined me. We all know that feeling, that burning passion, the late nights, the sheer hustle that comes with starting a business. It's exhilarating, it's exhausting, and it's often romanticized. But what happens when that initial burst of energy starts to wane? How do you maintain that drive without burning out completely? Stick around because in today's episode, we're diving into the critical topic of building sustainable business habits. We'll explore why clinging to that always on and winging it startup culture is a recipe for disaster. And we'll uncover business habits that help you thrive without sacrificing your well-being or your bottom line. Have you taken my Next Level Business Owner quiz? In 3 short minutes, you can find out what's most holding you back from taking your business to the next level, and then get a personalized playlist of specific episodes that solve those pain points. What is more productive and efficient than identifying your biggest pain points and getting methods and strategies you can implement immediately in your business? Head on over to amberdelagarza.com/quiz. And now, let's get to the straight talk. Let me ask you this. Are you still running your business like you did on day one or even year one? I get it. When you're just starting out, it's all about doing whatever it takes. Hustle hard, wearing all the hats, saying yes to every opportunity, and figuring things out as you go. And that works for a while. But if you want to build a business that doesn't just survive, but actually scales and sustains itself, you have to evolve. The habits that got you here won't be the habits that take you to the next level. In fact, some of those early business habits that helped you grind your way to this point might actually be the very things holding you back now. I'm going to share with you the sustainable habits of seasoned business owners that are worth building in place of the hustle culture habits that you need to leave in your past and move on from. We are breaking this list of habits into 4 categories: financial, leadership, marketing and sales, productivity, and time management. Let's kick off this list with financial habits. If you don't manage your money will manage you. Dave Ramsey. Habit number 1, keep business and personal finances separate. Look, many of us really started out just trying to figure out what are all these business financials about? What is the importance of separating personal and business? And I'm here to tell you that while that may have not been that big of a deal when you first started out because you had minimal expenses and you could sort through it, that is not a sustainable habit to get you to the next level. I have had clients that have really mixed bank accounts, mixed credit cards, or perhaps your bank accounts are separate, but you have an old personal credit card you're using in your business, and sometimes you put personal on it. Whatever that looks like, I really want you to build up the habit of consistently keeping your business and personal finances separate. It will serve you well in having a clear picture as to the health of your business. Habit number 2, Charge your worth and value your time appropriately. When we first start out, we are figuring it out. We may be undervaluing our time, not charging for all of our time, or when we do charge for our time, we are definitely undervaluing our time. This one habit will lead to cash flow issues, general financial struggles, and is a one-way ticket to burnout when we are not charging our worth. I have shared this story many, many times on the podcast, but I started here too. I remember the first time I was sitting in my car getting ready to meet with a client, one of my very first clients, and I know I was preparing myself to tell her how much I was going to be charging, and I wanted to throw up. And when I look back at that number, it was absolutely ridiculous. But I didn't have any perspective or experience at that time on how to gauge my worth in the marketplace. And so while we all may start there, it is definitely not where you want to continue. So build up the habit of continually checking in to ensure you're charging your worth and valuing your time. Habit number 3, monitor cash flow regularly and track income and expenses. When we first start out in business, it's like go time. We understand that cash flow is probably going to be irregular. We may be justifying expenses and reinvestments in the business to get it up and going, but that is not sustainable. We do not want to be ignorant to our own financials in the business. Even if you're at a point where you have a bookkeeper and a CPA or an accountant, whatever that looks like for you with support, you need the habit of understanding your own cash flow in the business, as well as on your P&L, understanding what each of those numbers represent in each category with regards to income and expenses. Understanding the numbers, while it may seem scary, will actually empower you to make decisive decisions in the business. And a little pro tip here. I have many, many clients that come to me and do not understand their financials. They are not clear where they're at, and we work through that. But what I overwhelmingly see is that it's never as bad as what you're telling yourself it is. And when we tell ourselves a story of how bad it is, then we avoid it and we don't want to dive into it. And I have actually seen many of my clients be relieved once they are empowered with understanding their business's income and expenses. Habit number 4, invest wisely in tools that directly improve business efficiency. When we first start out, I was alluding to this just a moment ago, you could possibly have overspending, or you're trying all of the tools because you don't know what tools you need, or you're eager to get office space because what does that mean and how does that position you as a new business owner? The truth is that our financials, specifically our expenses in investing in tools, needs to be re-examined on a regular basis to ensure that there is a ROI in those investments. Habit number 5, keep up with bookkeeping and taxes. So to understand your income and expenses and cash flow, the habit here is keeping up with the administrative side of bookkeeping and paying your taxes and understanding what your tax liability is. I do believe this is something that you can outsource, you can get support with from a bookkeeper or your accountant, but you want to ensure that you are prioritizing this. And why this is showing up on this list specifically is because when we first start out, we kick that to the curb. We're like, I just need to get my product out. I need to get sales out. I need to build my team. There's a lot of things that we're doing when we first start out. And bookkeeping seems to be least important and pushed off because not many people like it. But the truth is that if you keep kicking that off as a habit down the road, you now no longer have the data to then understand your numbers. So we really want to get into the habit of consistently keeping current with bookkeeping and taxes. Habit number 6, Pay yourself a fair salary while reinvesting smartly into the business. When we first start out in business, our tendency is reinvest it all back into the business to get it off the ground. And that is often necessary and needed. But what I have found time and time again is that that is not reevaluated. It becomes a habit that is not serving you, because when it's not reevaluated or looked at, it's like, this is just what I do. We reinvest in the business and you're not paying yourself fairly. Maybe not at all, but certainly not fairly. And while that may have served the business when you first started out, a truly healthy business should be able to pay you as the owner a fair salary and or a combination of draws. And if you're not currently able to do that, it's not an all or nothing thinking. So it's not reinvest it all, take nothing. Start where you're at. Decide that you deserve a salary and then build up from there and set milestones as to increasing to get to that fair salary. Bridge that gap over time. And this will serve your mindset as well. Because if you think that you're like, I didn't get paid when I first started out, you were living on the dream. You were living on what was possible in the business and the excitement of building a new business. And there's a lot to be said for that. I often say to myself and to my husband, like, I can do anything for hope, right? The hope of what it's going to look like in the future. I will grind it out. I will work hard. But the truth is that if you're not taking a salary home, you're not investing in your personal financial situation or your family's financial situation, it is a direct ticket to burnout, most certainly. Habit number 7, address legal and compliance matters early. What business owners tend to do is push off getting the contract set, hiring an attorney that looks at their agreements with clients. And while that may be the boring things that have to happen in the business, addressing your legal and compliance matters early is what is going to eventually keep the money that you earned. And so when you push this down the road and you do not make it a priority, and as many new business owners do, you are actually opening yourself up for liability. And so when you've worked this hard to get your business off the ground, and you've worked this hard to create the assets in the business, such as savings and cash, that can all be at jeopardy and risk if you do not have solid client agreements and that you are not protected legally and making smart moves legally to protect your business. So I just talked about 7 different habits under financials. And I want to let you know that if your habit building focus right now is around your financials, you can learn more and find specific episodes that address these habits over on my website at amberdelagarza.com/business finances. We have categorized specific episodes that will help you achieve the positive financial habits that will serve your business now and into the future. Again, you can get that at amberdelagarza.com/business finances. Next, we're going to be jumping into leadership habits. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. African proverb. Habit number 8, delegate tasks to focus on your high-value activities. So often, we try to do everything ourselves, but this is leading to exhaustion and inefficiency. The habit you want to lean into is to delegate and delegate often so that you have time to focus on the high-value activities that only you can do, the ones that will move you closer to achieving your goals and taking your business to the next level. Habit number 9, document your processes to streamline operations and scale. Keeping everything in your head is a recipe for disaster. It makes it difficult to train employees and to scale the business. If you are keeping your processes in your head, how can you actually set your team members up for success? By documenting your processes, you'll actually be more confident to delegate, which was the previous habit. Habit number 10, hire strategically based on revenue and workload needs. Sometimes the habit is a knee-jerk reaction to hire too soon and it's draining cash flow, or on the other extreme, waiting way too long to hire and it's becoming too overwhelming. And so strategically hiring based on understanding your data of revenue, and I would argue thus profitability, and as well as the need of workload, is the habit that you want to prioritize. This is going to be every single time you hire, not just at the beginning, not just after you're seasoned. Hire strategically based on revenue, thus profitability, and workload needs. Habit number 11, invest in team development. When you first started out, you probably didn't have the finances to invest in your team and just accepted the skills they brought to your business. A few years in, you should be investing in their continuous development so that they add increased value and grow with your business. You want to invest in your team because every investment in your team member is an investment in your business. To jump further into your leadership habits, we have a ton of great resources on the podcast. To get a list of those podcast episodes specifically around leadership and hiring, you're going to want to head on over to amberdelagarza.com/leadership and amberdelagarza.com/hiring. Next, let's jump into marketing and sales habits. The best known product beats the best product every time. Grant Cardone. Habit number 12, focus on an ideal customer profile for targeted success. I get it. When we first start out, someone's going to say, do you do this? Can you help me with this? And your answer is going to be, of course, if you're paying. Of course we can do that. Because you're trying to figure out who that ideal client and offering is. But trying to appeal to everyone leads to weak messaging and inefficient marketing. Truly understanding who you are speaking to and how you can serve them will propel you with your marketing efforts. Habit number 13, always be marketing. If you've been tuning into this podcast for any length of time, you know that marketing and visibility are a high value activity. Now, your role as the business owner may change in that bucket of marketing and visibility. But oftentimes, especially with service-based business owners, we can fall in the trap of serving our clients, which is definitely closest to the dollar, which is definitely high value, but at the expense of consistently marketing your business. And consistency always wins. So this habit is always be marketing. We want to ensure that our marketing pipeline is consistent to feed our sales and thus our clients. Habit 14, track and analyze marketing efforts to optimize ROI. Again, you could be in the negative habit of spending money on ads or social media, throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying to see what works. And what you're doing is just hoping. And what we would prefer you do as a seasoned business owner is track and analyze marketing efforts to optimize ROI. And I get it. When we first start out, it's an experiment. We are going to try a lot of different marketing strategies. But we want to ensure that we're moving through decision-making around our marketing strategies with actual data and not how we feel about it. So I'm encouraging you to track and analyze marketing efforts to optimize ROI. Habit 15, build a multi-channel marketing strategy for scalability. So often, we can rely on one channel or one marketing platform that is working well for us. But we have seen this time and time again that if you are marketing on someone else's platform, you do not own that marketing. You do not own the platform, and you could lose out on that stream of clientele. We do not want to just only rely on word of mouth. However, word of mouth is a great strategy. It is not predictable. So what we really want to do is have a few ways in which we are marketing our businesses, and each of those strategies are working. So habit number 15 is build a multi-channel marketing strategy for scalability. If you would like to learn more about marketing and sales, I bet you guessed it. We have a curated playlist of specific episodes that will address marketing and sales for your business. You can dive into those episodes by heading on over to amberdelagarza.com/marketing or amberdelagarza.com/sales. All right, so let's dive into our last category, productivity and time management habits. You can't scale chaos. Alex Hormozi. Habit number 16, set clear priorities and focus on high-value tasks. If you have a habit of just being busy to feel good about your workday, or you consistently start with low-priority tasks first, wasting valuable time, you're going to want to lean into and really choose to set priorities and focus on high-value tasks. This could be a really negative habit that you don't even realize you're in, because at the end of the day, you feel like you've worked all day because you have. You feel busy because you are. But are you truly focusing on your priorities and your highest value tasks? Habit number 17, manage distractions and create a focused work environment. Consistently checking your email, social media, having an open door policy, having your chimes, rings, and dings going off is not going to help you have focused work time so that you can get your highest value activities done. What you want to do is starve your distractions and feed your focus. In fact, we actually have an episode named 10 Ways to Starve Your Distractions and Feed Your Focus so that you can build up this habit to consistently create blocks of time that are distraction-free where you can get your highest value work done. Habit number 18 is plan your day. This is actually one of my very, very favorites. We're talking about going beyond the hustle of starting your business and the habits or poor habits that you may have created or leaned into to get your business where it's at. Planning your day has so many benefits. In fact, I have many episodes about the benefits and how to plan your day. But essentially, if you want to experience your workday proactively, feeling like you are in control instead of reacting and letting everything just happen to you and wonder where your day went, habit number 18 is consistently plan your day. Habit number 19, limit unnecessary meetings. Over time, we add a meeting for a real reason, and then we add another one, and then we add another one. And every time we decided to add a meeting to our weeks or to our months or to our quarters, they are for a specific reason. But reasons change over time. And so I would really encourage you to reevaluate the ROI on each of these meetings and get ruthless with your time and what you're saying yes to with regards to meetings. I'm talking about meetings that are recurring. I'm talking about one-off meeting requests. I want you to limit all unnecessary meetings to reclaim time and really allow you to scale your business. When we first start out in our businesses, we have a tendency to want to say yes to everything. In fact, I have so many stories and examples of people asking to go have coffee. Can I take you to lunch? And when I first started out, I was naive. I thought, oh my gosh, they want to learn about my services. They want to work with me. And lo and behold, it was a networking thing. They wanted to sell me something. It was a multi-level marketing meeting, you name it. And I just wasn't confident with asking, what is the purpose of the meeting request? And really being discerning with where I was investing my time. Whether they're one-off meetings or recurring meetings, the habit that I want you to embrace is to limit unnecessary meetings. Question all of them. Your time is valuable. Habit number 20 is establish work-life boundaries to maintain self-care and relationships. We have been talking about what is that energy of first starting out and really wanting to build your business. Oftentimes that does take working nights and weekends. I have shared with you here on this podcast that for the first 18 months to 2 years, I built my business waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, sneaking into my office while my toddler was still sleeping. I built my business from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. until it could get off the ground and really have its feet under it. Because then I would either be a mom or I would take him to daycare and then go work with clients. And so I really needed to carve out that work on my business time. And it was definitely on the outskirts of the work day. That's what it took. I have no regrets. It got me to where I'm at today. But that would not have been sustainable at all. And so there is a point that you're saying, I'm doing X, Y, and Z to get where? And when you get there, you have to have the courage to say, I no longer need to work through dinner, work past kids' bedtime, work early in the morning, work on weekends. So the habit I want you to really focus on is establishing clear work-life boundaries and maintaining them and holding them sacred so that you don't burn out, your relationships are healthy, you have self-care, and your health is a priority. And lastly, habit 21, prioritize strategic planning and long-term vision. In the early years of building your business, you might just be planning what to get through today or this week, just to keep your head afloat. Now you should also be investing your time into planning out what you're going to be working on next month, next quarter, throughout the rest of the year. I want you to look ahead. Then, backing out of where you're going, determine what actions need to be taken today and this week. So really flipping it from survival of like just getting through the days and the weeks and prioritizing long-term strategic planning, long-term vision of success. To find out more about time management and productivity, I want you to head on over to amberdelagarza.com/task management and amberdelagarza.com/time management. So let's recap. We've covered 21 financial, leadership, marketing and sales, and productivity and time management habits that are much more sustainable than the habits you may have relied on to get your business up and running. Perhaps there are some habits you have clung to that are no longer serving you. I encourage you to evaluate your business habits and evolve them into habits that help you thrive where you're at today without sacrificing your well-being and your bottom line. We have the resources to help you do just that. Head on over to the episode show notes for additional episode links, or you can book a discovery call with me to find out how I can help you evolve into the next level business owner you want to be. To book that discovery call to find out how we may work together and that I can help you get your business to the next level, head on over to amberdelagarza.com/call. We covered 21 key habits that can help you shift from the reactive hustle culture of your business's infancy into a sustainable, scalable business model. Hustle will get you started, but smart habits will keep you growing. Anonymous. I have loved having you listen to this episode of the Small Business Straight Talk podcast, and I sure hope you have found our conversation around sustainable habits in your business to be valuable. But I need to be straight with you. No change, no change. Without taking action, nothing will change for you or your business. So my ask of you today is to actually not consider all 21 habits. I want you to think of it as a menu of options. Choose one habit to focus on. Flip it from the negative habit that is not serving you or your business and flip it on its head to a sustainable, smart habit that will serve you and your business. Build that habit up and then add another and then another. And compounded over time, you will experience your business completely differently. Now, I would love to hear from you. What is the one habit that you're committed to change starting today? I would love to hear from you over on Instagram at Amber_De La Garza. If you're not already following me, hit follow, DM me, let me know what one habit you are focusing on to change your business. And if you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss another episode. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a fellow business owner who you think would find it valuable. So that's my straight talk for today. Until next time, have a productive week.